If you live in Malaysia, you might have heard that a certain Dr. Sam has just gotten a cushy new job. The man has just become the Pengerusi PN, which basically means that he's replacing Muhyiddin Yassin in that gigantic kerfuffle of a rearrangement right here, whereby a certain Hamza Zainuddin got kicked out of his own party and basically the entire Malaysian opposition is crumbling down to the ground. But now, a more interesting question is popping up even as Dr. Sam is taking up his cushy new job. What if he becomes Prime Minister? So poops, ever since Dr. Sam became Pengerusi PN, his star has just been rising. Pemuda PAS just released a post saying Dr. Sam for Malaysia, even as they go around glazing our boy left, right, front and center. Oh my gosh, he's so educated. Oh my gosh, he doesn't bring politik dendam. Everybody loves him, vote for Dr. Sam. Now on the surface, right, Dr. Sam kind of seems like a nice guy, like pleasant looking. He is educated. I've seen the guy speak. He's an articulate, soft-spoken person. Clearly he could win votes for a bunch of people, which is why they decided to choose him as their PM candidate in the first place. But does that mean I think he's gonna be a good Prime Minister for Malaysia? No actually. I think that if he does become Prime Minister and they win the election, it's gonna destroy the country. But that has actually very little to do with what Dr. Sam has done or not done. You can evaluate that with picture after picture and stuff like that. But my main objection against Dr. Sam is not Dr. Sam himself, it is actually his own party. Here's why I think so. He is just a front. No matter how nice or pleasant the guy actually is, you have to remember that behind him is PAS. Now that wouldn't be an issue if the guy were actually in control of PAS. But let's dial back a bit and remember that Dr. Sam is not the president of PAS. No, that is our president for life Hadi Awang, who apparently wants to die while serving, and by the way, who holds all the power in the party. Now, what does that mean? That means that if ever you have a situation where Dr. Sam becomes Prime Minister, he's still going to be controlled by his party. For those of you who know nothing about PAS, basically the highest decision-making body is known as the Muktamar, but there's also this thing that's called the Majlis Syura, which is basically composed of Ulama, aka the lebais who allegedly get to interpret all matters of religion for PAS, and possibly even design things like this beautiful Selamat Tahun Baru Cina poster right here, while by the way somehow making it all about them. Ramadan Mubarak by the way, but like, couldn't you just have let us have our moment? But the point I'm trying to make is that if Dr. Sam, as Vice President, is appointed as Prime Minister by PAS, even though he's not the president of his party, he's going to be manipulated by his own party. Why? Again, because of the Majlis Syura. See, it's true that as the Prime Minister of the country, you're beholden by the constitution, you have a whole cabinet and stuff like that, but as a member of the party, MPs in the party are beholden to the president. And end of the day, Majlis Syura is going to be interpreting the constitution. It's going to be doing a whole bunch of different things. So you kind of have to ask yourself the question of whether or not, if Dr. Sam as the PM tries to make a decision, whether that's actually his decision or it's actually the Majlis Syura's decision. Dude, it's like basically what people were saying about the so-called fourth floor boy thing, except it's actually official. Like, you can just imagine President and Timbalan President just casually laughing away while deciding what Samsuri is going to be doing next. So end of the day, imagine that you vote and you put Samsuri into office, but then you have this couple of Rasputins just casually pulling the strings from behind right there. Good cop on the outside, bad cop on the inside. Now this brings me to my second point, which is that if Dr. Sam doesn't get manipulated, then for what it's worth, even as a Prime Minister, he's going to be fighting with people and fighting with his own party. Now, I remember seeing this headline on FMT that declared that Ulama PAS solid sokong Samsuri, and I just immediately started laughing. bro, Dr. Sam, come on. They're only supporting you because they happen to agree with you. And if they decide differently from you, they are going to cut you off. It's just that simple. It's not like rocket science or anything, which perhaps you understand better than any of us. But let's be real, right? If you have this Majlis Syura and a precedent for life hanging over your head, you basically then have two extremely powerful people fighting with one another, party president, and then the Prime Minister himself. Now you can say, Prime Minister, oh, I am so good, nega chail chalaka. But imagine that you get into cabinet and cabinet basically wants to do things that somehow or another your party doesn't agree with, and then somehow y'all start fighting, right? Now you think to yourself, oh, I'm the Prime Minister, I can get out unscathed. Then I'll be like, bro, remember the words of George Santayana? Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. Look what happened to Ismail Sabri. I mean, not the 100 million thing, whoa, but instead, the fact that he was just a vice president of UMNO, the third ranked in UMNO, and he was just constantly dealing with all of the problems associated with that, fighting against Zahid, can't use the party machinery, and the next election, a sword is always hanging over your head. Now, Dr. Sam might be okay with that, but I wonder if you're a citizen of Malaysia, are you okay with it? Having your Prime Minister, who is supposed to serve all races and religions, get controlled by this bunch of people. I mean, bro, we remember all of this. We didn't forget. You think it was so easy to make us just casually erase all of that from our memory? Nope. And again, if you think that he can fight them, he can show that he's different from the rest of them out there, well, I guess, good luck. But your optimism is misplaced. If party leadership is going out and telling this guy what he can or cannot do as Prime Minister, it doesn't matter how many interviews he has with the Star or on Lebih Masa, none of which are really very convincing, in demonstrating that Malaysia's not going to become an extreme society. I mean, like, just listen to the way that he speaks about this stuff.
There seems to be an evolution of PAS. You don't look like the mullah. You don't have the beard.
Did I?
you don't wear the robe.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't wear the, what do you call, the kopia,
Yeah.
which has been painted as this is the PAS people. But the word Islamist party still strikes fear among businessmen,
Yeah.
in the country, as you said, due to a long history of
Yeah,
propaganda.
yeah.
So how do you intend to dispel that fear?
Yeah, it's a long history. It's not just for Malaysia, because they look at other part of the world and they equate ourselves to other people from other part of the world, which is 100% very wrong. They have different issues and different problem at their respective countries. We understand the structural of Malaysia. We understand that we consist of.
A few moments later,
we come this far, and we need to move forward. This is one of my roles. I said this to them many times in many occasions. So this is ongoing process to deal with our people, our past members, and to the publics who are very skeptic on past. We couldn't blame them. And the engagement process keep on going, and with the helps of our 43 MPs, we try to step up whatever things we can do to reduce the tensions and reduce the negativity.
Yep. He doesn't really have much to say about that, which is why he's going out and saying, oh, we have to negotiate. Oh, don't worry, it's not gonna be so much of a problem. Oh, it is a misconception, blah, 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 blah. Bro, from the very time of Tunku Abdul Rahman, the guy already determined that, hey, we're not an Islamic state. We are a secular country that just happens to have Islamic law. To them already says that, hey, we are neither a secular nor an Islamic state. But yet, you have people like your beloved Sukri Omar, who goes on yapping day in and day out, however much you try to be all like, oh, no, there's nothing like that out there. So no, I don't really believe you. At the end of the day, even if this Dr. Sam right here isn't actually going to be so-called extreme out there, he doesn't need to be, because other people are going to do that. They are going to manipulate the situation, and they are going to take the opportunity to yap constantly about religion in places where it does not belong.
And probably a lot more of this as well.
So yeah, All in all, if you're expecting this vice president to go out there and fight his own party, or you expect him to not be influenced or at least controlled or subdued by his own party, then you are asking for a lot. Even as you kind of ask for the equivalent of basically having Shehbaz Sharif take power over Asim Munir, we all know where the real power is. And basically, in this situation, where you have this beautiful poster boy in the form of Dr. Sam, it's gonna be exactly like that. You're gonna have a new third prime minister, a weakened Malaysia. People will talk about wanting to compete on an international stage, while in the meantime, even Terengganu masih tak jalan. If you like Dr. Sam, by all means, but you can't deny everything that I just said about the way the party is run, how everything hangs together, and how, at the end of the day, Samsuri Mokhtar is not his own man. And to end this video, all I really can do is just ask Dr. Sam, Dr. Sam, are you really okay with being the poster boy and being governed by your inferiors? I don't know how that makes you feel, but congratulations on becoming Pengerusi PM. If it survives, then like props to you. And for being at the head of a bunch of pemfitnahs, slanderers, and people collecting donations for Saman Fitnah. And I hope for your sake, your ego, and for the livelihood of all Malaysians and the status of Malaysia as a country, that you do not become Prime Minister of Malaysia. What do you think, Sapoops? How do you feel about Dr. Sam being used as PN's poster boy? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. That's all I have to say about that, and bye.